Three suspects led a police chase that began with a shooting in Los Angeles. On the night of Tuesday, September 9th, Los Angeles became the scene of an exciting chase. It all started with a call to the 800 block of North Forest Street. Shots had just been fired. LAPD officers arrived to find a victim with a gunshot wound, but fortunately in stable condition. Witnesses at the scene provided a crucial clue: three suspects fleeing in a white pickup truck. The search continued, and tensions mounted.
Coincidental that he's ending up on these same streets and now making a lot of repeated turns here, just kind of zigzagging his way through the City Terrace area, which is where they were earlier, and you can see him making a lot of random turns, wild lefts, some random rights, and here he is now on Herbert Avenue at First Street, making his way through City Terrace, still north of the 10, and another right turn onto First Street here. Still no intention of pulling over. Not doing crazy speeds, but still doing just about the speed limit. Appears to be slowing down for some of these intersections here, but still not pulling over. I mean, he's not putting a lot of distance between him and that primary unit, but what you can see right there is a passenger in the right seat there. Those side windows, those passenger windows are tinted, but if you caught the windshield there, you were able to see some movement on that from that passenger seat. You can see LAPD with their airship overhead here. Again, I count 8 units right behind him, and they are right on his tail. This is a hot pursuit of at least two shooting suspects on the streets of East LA here as they continue to make some random turns here. Looks like he's getting ready to make a right turn. Let's widen that just a little bit here and see where this is going to put him. This is going to be still First Street, and he is going straight down First Street. He's catching a lot of green lights here, not a lot of traffic on First Street, and it does look actually like LAPD has finally, for the first time, really put a little bit of distance between them and him, but you can see widen out a little bit. I just want to see how far that primary unit is Rob. There you go. So he's not too far, but still, they are right behind him.
At approximately 10:40 p.m., the race began. A high-speed chase snaked through the city, crossing block after block. From the bustling streets of downtown Los Angeles to the residential areas of Boyle Heights and Southgate, the suspect's pickup truck attempted to evade the law, but police cameras never lost sight of them.
Third person.
Right.
Yeah, that looks like a third person in the back seat.
Ducking down. Okay, yeah, so there's at least 3 people in this vehicle, one of whom, perhaps more of whom than just one, are shooting suspects that the LAPD is pursuing. You see their LAPD helicopter right there above it, shining the night sun on it. It's a very familiar sight to anyone who is in the Los Angeles area. Apologize for a little breakup of the picture there. What's the direction of travel right now, and are we still on First Street?
Still on First Street, getting a little more information from our assignment desk. Apparently, this is in connection to a shooting that happened this afternoon, Mark, somewhere along 4th Avenue. Limited info, but still new details that this is related to a shooting this afternoon along 4th Avenue, and that's all we know. So we have 3 suspects now on the run here, at least 3. Probably a good guess that there might even be more than that, but we'll see here. We have at least 2 people in the front, 1 person in the back. That person in the rear passenger seat just rolling the window back up, it looks like, still heavily tinted windows. We were able to catch a better glimpse through that front windshield, but now he is still on First Street, approaching Boyle Avenue, and the congestion here, you can see these are tighter streets. He occasionally catches a little bit of traffic, but for the most part, these are residential streets that are really narrowing on him, and he is just speeding right down First Street still with those LAPD units right behind him under the overpass there. This is going to put him on a little bit closer to the we're still in the Fashion District pretty much, but we're going to continue closer to downtown LA as he makes his way further west along First Street and eventually over the bridge here in just a second.
All right, he's going to be crossing the famous bridge there, and we'll watch that happen. And it's notable, of course, there's not a lot of traffic right now, and that's good. This time of night there would not be, so that's a good thing. But there are still some congested parts of the city where there might be more pedestrians afoot than in other parts, and he seems to be heading in that direction as he goes into the downtown core. There are pedestrians walking around on the streets in downtown LA at night. There's a pretty significant nightlife scene there, as well as others who are at home on the streets, frankly, or who make their homes on the streets. And so there would be pedestrians at potential risk here, and along with the people in that intersection he just ran through. Nobody hit there, but shows the willingness of this driver to do what he or she needs to do or wants to do to try to get away. Passing okay, there's a little more traffic right now.
That was the first real sign of desperation that we've seen so far, right through that red light with lots of cross traffic, a busy intersection with more of those to come as he gets closer to downtown LA. Right here in the thick of it, right behind City Hall, you can see him still on first. The taller buildings that will allow him to hide out. Lots of parking structures, lots of places to dump the vehicle and potentially try and hide out, or he could continue straight through downtown and get on either the 110 freeway or head into the Rampart District where he will have less obstacles. So you can see the night sun right overhead, right along First Street. He's still on First. He's been on First now for some time. Those LAPD units still right behind him as he makes his way straight through downtown LA in the westbound direction and not slowing down whatsoever. And they are not giving this up at all. They're, again, showing no signs as he makes his way underneath the 110 freeway. No signs of giving this up. He's now going to be making a left turn just to the west of the 110 freeway. That's going to be Beaudry, and this may give him an opportunity here in the next couple of blocks to get onto the 110 freeway, or he can just continue south on surface streets. But it looks like he is committing to Beaudry, at least for the time being, Mark.
Running through that red light at Beaudry and 2nd, heading toward 3rd. The numbers go up as they head further south, of course, in Los Angeles. Again, more intersections ahead. He passed the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion a little bit ago, passed by City Hall. Some of the landmarks of downtown as he continues to try to flee from police. We are seeing him now. This is where we have seen other suspects, have we not, duck into some of these underground parking structures. We have seen them use freeway overpasses to link up with people and switch cars. So this is becoming a more frequently used tactic, is to head into downtown and do what you can there to try to get away. And the question now there is, we thought he might have perhaps gone into a parking structure, but no, not at this point. LAPD headquarters really not too far from where he is, right?
Well, we've made our way a little bit further to the west, so now we're actually west of the 110 freeway. He's moving away from downtown now. You can see there were LAPD units in the opposing direction there. They appear to be coincidentally there, but if they have an opportunity, he's been on First Street for so long, I wonder if there might be more black and whites ahead of him, potentially setting up for a spike strip. I'm also a little bit surprised that we haven't even seen any attempt of a pit maneuver. There might be a good reason for it, but it seems like they would have had some opportunity in the last 10 minutes to try for it. Anyways, the streets have been relatively narrow, so maybe that's why. But once again, as we show you this view right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 black and whites now behind this guy as he now drives down an alleyway. This is going to put him on Miramar Street at Whitmer Street. He's slowing down a little bit too, if you notice, Mark. Maybe looking for a good hiding spot to dump the vehicle and just go running for it into the trees or something like that. But he's driving much slower than he was just a little bit earlier. And now a decision to make here, coming north, or northbound on Lucas Avenue. He had the opportunity, it's worth mentioning, to get on the freeway. He has now bypassed that a couple of times. He was on the freeway at one point and then turned around, headed back into East LA. Now we're on the west side of downtown LA, so in an entirely different neighborhood, an entirely different set of surface streets. He's navigating them fairly well, but he is slowing down, which again tells me maybe this neighborhood he might not be as familiar with, maybe making this up as he goes along or intentionally looking for a hiding spot. Nonetheless, regardless, he has a lot of pressure on him. He's got multiple helicopters. He's got at least 10 black and whites right behind him, and there are a number ahead of him trying to intersect this pursuit here. So you can just see from the resources here, his time is limited. His minutes, I believe, are numbered. And at these speeds, they can manage this pursuit pretty safely as long as he doesn't really amp things up. Which, of course, you know, once you say it, everything changes. If they agitate him just a little bit, we saw what happened just a couple weeks ago, and then things can get very dangerous very suddenly. But right now, he's kind of meandering through here, now going the wrong way up on the curb here at Temple and La Vida Terrace. A lot of random moves here. I don't think this guy knows where he wants to take this.
Yeah, and he's going to pass by the Rampart Division here fairly shortly, Temple Street, in the Westlake area of Los Angeles, a very densely populated part of the city as well, worth noting. And if you live in this area, please keep your doors and windows closed. It's kind of my standard warning whenever we have a pursuit that goes through any sort of a residential area. And just to kind of keep your doors and windows closed and locked, because you never know if somebody's going to foot bail and come heading into your home. And it's a Temple and Furman. The video on the right is from earlier where he went through that intersection and nearly collided with a couple of cars. That he managed to do without causing any harm to anyone, but it was fairly narrow escape. And the speed you see on the left, he's going some 70 miles an hour on Temple and Beaudry in the Westlake area of LA, seemingly. Which direction is he heading now?
It looks like he's going south now, and that would have been, I believe, the 101 freeway he just went under there. So he's now back in the downtown vicinity, just north of the 101, on Temple, and again slowing down. A lot of random moves here, another random U-turn here, or maybe looking to make that was a northbound turn. That's going to put him onto Hope, but he's going away from downtown now. So he's northbound on Hope, getting onto the freeway. That's going to put him on the 101 freeway, and it looks like he's committed to the southbound side. So that's going to put him on the southbound side of the 101 freeway, which once again, this is where you can start to predict his next move, because this is going to take him back towards City Terrace eventually, back towards the East LA interchange. If he gets off, it would establish a real pattern for the suspect. If he stays on the freeway, he could take us in a totally different part of town. So we'll see what he does here, but something tells me he may be looking for an exit somewhere in this East LA area, because that just seems to be where he's most comfortable. And again, we know this shooting happened on 4th Avenue at some point earlier this afternoon. We understand there are 2 people in the front, at least 1 person in the back. We have not seen anybody in the back on this side of the vehicle. The passenger we saw was on the passenger side. So if anybody rolls down their window, we'll see if we can count more people inside this white Honda. Don't know if it belongs to them, if this is a stolen vehicle, if there are more crimes associated with these suspects. What we do know is that the original want was shooting suspects. These are shooting suspects that LAPD seems intent on bringing into custody this evening. They are still following with a large contingent of black and white units, Mark.
Yeah, and the speed really ramped up once he got on the freeway. He started hitting the triple digits pretty soon after he got there, and still up above 90 miles an hour. You see how rapidly he's passing the other traffic. Does he have a plan? Is there somebody waiting for him somewhere? You know, I wouldn't ask that if we hadn't seen it so many times, especially lately, where he's got a plan about where and how he might be ditching the vehicle and trying to get away. Maybe trying to put some distance between himself and the pursuing officers right now. I don't know how well he's going to be able to do with that. And worth noting, too, this is not some sports car he's in. This is a Honda minivan, a Honda Pilot, we believe. And you got to be careful on those quick lane switches at that speed, because it is not built for that. And there could very well be a real problem that could happen in an instant with all those people in the car as well, and all the other drivers on that 101 freeway. Is he now on the 10? Is that correct?
He's on the eastbound side of the 10 freeway doing extreme speeds here, upwards of triple-digit speeds, eastbound 10, approaching Soto Street, which is where he got on the freeway earlier. It seems that he's bypassing the City Terrace area, but that's where we are right now. We're at the 10 freeway in City Terrace, continuing at a very high rate of speed. A little bit of traffic, but just enough that if he makes one wrong move, we could be looking at calamity. So let's hope that he can maintain control of that minivan at these dangerous speeds. That, as you mentioned, is not a sports car. It is much different. It is top heavy. It is difficult to maneuver, and now he's getting off the freeway without barely slowing down at Eastern Avenue here. So getting off the 10 freeway, it appears, at Eastern Avenue, again, still booking it as he makes his way eastbound.
All right, let's see where he goes once he gets off the freeway. This is at Eastern, as you mentioned. There's a car in front of him. There's likely to be some traffic once he gets onto surface streets. There's going to be cross traffic. There's going to be the potential for red lights to be run, and the dangers inherent in that. But we will see. Oh, he just went off the road.
Oh, he's losing control off the 710 freeway, off the 10 and the 710, losing control. Looks like he maybe slammed into a light pole there at the intersection of Ramona Boulevard and Ramona Road. We'll see if anybody jumps out of that vehicle, but it does look like the vehicle is now disabled. It looks like the driver's side door is still closed, but there is somebody walking around. He may have gotten out of the vehicle. That's the driver, and a passenger now running up the embankment. There's a passenger running up the embankment, somebody else walking, staying right around that vehicle. It looks like he doesn't want to run, but one of those suspects is on the run up that embankment at the intersection of Ramona Boulevard and Ramona Road. He just passed the 710 freeway and at the end of Eastern Avenue slammed into that curb after losing control. He just took it way too fast, and it looks like this person is ready to give up. He's got the night sun on him, in his face. We know there were at least 3 people total at a minimum. There were 3. One person has gone running up the embankment.
Who's this guy?
We have one person standing right by the vehicle. This looks like he's a passerby that's just asking if he's okay. That's a good Samaritan who is just pulling over
may not
to
know
check
what
on this minivan.
What the backstory is.
He has no idea. Yeah, he's got no idea what's going on, but we still have at least 2 people either unaccounted for, unless that third person is still in the car. Something tells me the other 2 probably both were able to get out of there and are running for it. But we have one person now walking down the sidewalk as if nothing happened. I believe that may be the driver. It is the driver. That's the driver now walking casually down Ramona Boulevard.
Kind of limping.
2 other passengers. He's talking to somebody in the passenger seat, and that vehicle is continuing on. So he's just walking through this neighborhood. It's a commercial area, and here comes
the Highway Patrol.
California Highway Patrol. They're going to be approaching him here momentarily, and we're going to try and get around this tree.
All right, there he is. I don't know what story he's trying to tell him, if he's going to try to tell him a story or what, but you're under arrest, sir, and that's it for that. Hands behind the back. He is now in the custody of the Highway Patrol. Now the question is, what has become of the other 2 people that were in the vehicle that is now, about 2 blocks behind him, that crashed, first lost control as it was heading down that off-ramp at Eastern Avenue, and then crashed into the curb and then the retaining wall, we believe, and the traffic light. There it is.
Yeah, that's where it ended right there. You get that they are going to be making their way home in all likelihood. Just not enough police presence to establish a perimeter. And in any case, it is typically, they're pointing their gun at somebody, or at least pointing the flashlight up there. Maybe they see signs of somebody in the bushes hiding out. The other 2 you saw were a little more able-bodied than the driver. I had a suspicion that they would be making their way a little further away from the scene of the crime here, but if they're just hiding out up there and somebody has spotted them, that may allow them an opportunity to bring these other ones into custody. But I think in any case, Mark, It just is typically the case that...
Then the chase took a dramatic turn. The suspects, in a desperate attempt to escape, veered off the road. The chase came to a sudden halt in the San Gabriel Valley after the truck struck a pole. After a chaotic half-hour and a horrific crash, the chase ended. Just before 2 a.m., the three suspects were in police custody. Authorities confirmed the victim was safe and that the incident was not gang-related. Another turbulent night in Los Angeles was coming to an end. A stark reminder that in the face of justice, there is no hiding place.
Of someone against the background of the ground, and you can't hide. You might think you can at night, but you can't, especially at night because the ground is cooler and the warmth of a human body stands out that much further, and there's literally no way they can hide unless they get against a background that is of similar temperature. And so maybe that is what is being helpful here as more units arrive on scene, and they're starting to point their flashlights up the hill, as we, of course, saw that one person.
And now on the ground, that is now going to be 2 of 3 in custody that we know for sure. We know there were 3 at least, and this will make a driver and a passenger now being detained.
Yes, and this is on the property. Where they are is kind of a landmark in Monterey Park. I mentioned it a couple times, Luminarious Restaurant, the site of countless wedding receptions, quinceañeras, and other special events. As they continue to search through this, it's a good thing there wasn't an event happening at this place at this time, because it would be a much more different and perhaps more dangerous situation. What they've got now, 2 out of the 3 that we know of who were in the car are now in custody, and the search continues for at least one more person. And that was the one guy we saw that was heading up the hill. And now you got more units arriving here. This is Monterey Park, and not sure if perhaps
I think,
go ahead.
No, it's just it's clear that they weren't able to get very far, and I think that means that the third suspect is probably within arm's reach here. If they continue looking through this area, they have flooded this entire area with units on every corner. So there's a good chance they may get all 3 here. Again, we know of at least 3, but this is the passenger who is now being detained.